Happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween, everyone. How's everyone? Hope everyone is good. Hope everything is spooky, whatever. This is actually after the fact because we were going to do a Halloween episode, but then we're like, oh, we don't know. And then we did something. And then everyone was like, oh, yo, do a Halloween episode.
Yeah.
So now you're getting it after Halloween, but it's like the first week kind of November, so it's not too far away. It's not terrible, so you still got something there.
You know, say that today when we're recording, it is Halloween and we're actually expecting trick-or-treaters. And if they don't come, I'm actually going to be really upset because I bought a lot of sweeties. And I don't want to be left with it all to have to eat by myself. Like, that'd be really annoying. And like Farouk said, it is the first week of November. And we asked you guys if you wanted a Halloween episode. And you said, yes, you do. So obviously we are going to deliver because, you know us, we always deliver. Basically, what we're going to get straight into today is some stories that I have found, or some stories that we have ourselves, or like people that we know that are kind of spooky. So last year we kind of did, we read scary stories, but this time we're kind of reading more, like more real scary stuff. So here's one story that I have, and it goes like this. Ghosts are real. I can't believe what just happened. Okay, so let me start by saying that I've never really been sure in the afterlife. I'm one of those I have to see it to believe it kind of people. But my parents tell me that when I was really young, I used to see ghosts. They say that at one point I got so scared I asked all the ghosts to go away until I was 30. I don't really remember any of this, so I always assumed I just had a vivid imagination. Apparently it worked. They stopped showing up immediately. Well, I turned 30 last year. At about 6 months into the year, they came back. Well, one did. I couldn't sleep. I was just lying there awake, and I figured I'd get up and walk around the house a little bit. You know, when you get that feeling that someone is standing right behind you. I had it so strongly that I just assumed it must be my roommate behind me. I think I felt the floorboards move a little. That's how I knew someone was there. So I turned around, fully expecting it to be my roommate. But it wasn't. It was this shadow in the shape of a person, like a person just made of darkness. They're about a foot shorter than me, and they looked pretty large in weight. I just stood there, looking at them kind of dumbfounded. I remember saying, oh my God, I guess they were really looking at me because they paused for a moment when they walked around me. I turned as they walked around me and watched them head towards the stove. Once they got to the stove, they vanished into thin air.
Damn. Spooky. Like, that'd be pretty crazy. Like, once again, I don't really believe in ghosts myself, but that would be pretty crazy. Could you imagine just thinking that there's no one there and the next thing is just some shadow? Thinking it's your roommate and it's like a shadow that fuck with you mentally, absolutely. But then, like, the fact that he just chilled there, me personally, that's a one-way ticket out the door. Like, and I'm not seeing that from him. I'm like, hey, yo, come over to my place, just pack all my stuff for me. And the only reason why I can't do it, but you just do it for me.
So, okay, if you were to actually experience, like, not a ghost, maybe like a shadow of some sort in your, like, right next to you, like, what do you do? What's your first reaction?
I run away.
Do you not,
No.
I feel like you're trying to fight it.
No, I'm black. I run away. I don't play with my life. Like what am I gonna do? I can't fight a ghost. Like,
yeah,
I run away. Like, what the hell? No, I don't play with my life. I'm running away. Absolutely running away. There's no if, buts, or anything. Like, my first reaction is just to run away. Like, absolutely. Like, It's not like I'm seeing someone and I'm like, oh, they're squaring up to me. No, I'm running away. Like, it's not even a debatable question. Like, no one. Like, it's always how they always have back then. Like, way back in all the, like, quote unquote horror movies, whatever, and it's like, oh, the black person dies. It doesn't really work that way because black people just are very self-aware. We don't let's go exploring. We don't play around with things. We just go away. Like, it's not even a question. Like, it's just run away. Like, what? Nah, I don't play. Like, there was even one time me and my friend were like walking, like doing these long walk, and it's the first time I've ever been caught lacking in my life, and they're doing this long walk, and then he just looked back, had a super face of fear, and started sprinting. I started sprinting. I didn't even look back. just started sprinting straight away. I didn't even look back. I was just sprinting. And then it was only after like I felt like I was ahead of him and I was well sprinted. I looked back to be like, okay, what is it we're running away from? Nothing. But you know, I didn't even question it. I just went, no.
Nope.
Like I don't need to find out what it is. I'll find out after the fact, not during the fact. So like, you know, because like if it was something and I look back, oh, that's a moment of done. Done. I'm not even risking it. So no, I just ran straight away. So like that's the kind of thing, you know, I don't play with my life like that. No way. Ask questions afterwards.
Yeah, like, because, you know, there's always like stories of people who kind of have, you know, encounters with ghosts and stuff in their home, and it's like really difficult because like what you do if it's in your home, like you can't leave your home.
It's not your home anymore.
So you find a new place to rent. Like
yeah, I'm leaving. Like if it's a ghost, I'm leaving. Like what? I'm not fighting it. I'm not trying to combat. No,
but you know
it's
what?
the ghost house now.
I feel like since you obviously don't believe in ghosts, right? I think that you would try to justify like hearing things or whatever by being like, oh, it's probably like the wind. Or
Well,
like,
there's a difference between
you know?
like hearing sounds and being like, oh, it's this, and literally seeing a shadowy figure that you have no, and like it's vivid. No, it's like I watched the movie last night, The Boogeyman, and it was like what's it called? Essentially like the Boogeyman. It's like this thing, you know, coming from the closet and then doing whatever. But like, you know, the kids were saying like, oh, yo, yeah, this thing is there. Like, you know, and obviously the dad doesn't, and you wouldn't believe it, you know. But then the moment like one of the doors was just chilling like upstairs and it just slammed shut and then opened again. That's me instantly like, no.
Nope.
I'm going. Like, it's not my house anymore. It's the ghost's house. I have no reason to be here. Like, what? No. You know, like, screw all that stuff. Screw that. Like, what's this whole, like, oh, there's nothing to explain. That's fucked up. That shit doesn't happen in real life. So I am leaving. End of story. And I don't believe in ghosts. But I don't play around with my life either.
Okay.
So
I was staying at like one of my friends' homes recently, and you know she was just kind of saying how like, you know, don't mind, like there's like a guy in the other room and like, you know, he snores at nighttime sometimes, and it's just like I'm not afraid of him or whatever, it just is what it is. And I'm like, you cannot tell me these things before I stay in your home. Like I will not sleep. I
wouldn't even, the moment I hear that, I'm packing my stuff, I'm going. I'm not staying. I don't even care if you're joking. I don't want to find out. I'm not staying.
Yeah.
Don't play around. Don't play around with me. Like, I'm not staying. It's so dumb. Like, you know, because it's like one of those things. Like, it's all funny, haha, until you're dead.
But they can't like kill you or interact with you.
Well, once again, I don't believe in ghosts. So like, yeah. But like, if hypothetically they are real, yes, they can.
Really?
Probably. I don't know.
Don't
maybe.
Say that.
So like.
Oh, so they're like friendly fire.
I don't know. Moral of the story is I'm trying to be the one to find out. So yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, and there was another friend who I visited before, right? And her and her sister would just be like, oh yeah, you know, like Mary lives with us. Like she used to live in this house before and passed away.
You have some weird ass friends, bro.
I know.
Me personally.
So yeah, you know, like she just lives here, and sometimes we like hear her in the middle of the night, but like it's, you know, we're not afraid of her or whatever. So I think the people who I've heard speak about like ghosts or whatever, they're never like afraid.
But it's not about being afraid. It's about caring about your life.
I'm afraid.
Like, I have no interest in being in proximity to whatever weirdness that is. That's not me, and that will never be me. God forbid.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
Screw that.
Me personally, I don't think I've ever had an experience with like a ghost. But there are times when I feel like a strong presence of someone, you know, like in a specific like room or whatever.
Feel it in your own lonesome. Thank you very much. Get out of my house. Thank you. Bye.
Like when we went to see like Bran Castle in Romania, and I was like, I like felt like such a strong presence of like, you know, the lady being in her room or whatever, and I just like, but I don't take it seriously. I'm like, oh, it's like nothing, but I genuinely, I'm like, oh,
it's just your head, to be honest, playing tricks on
spooky.
You. It's just your brain.
And then another thing that's kind of like been happening recently is like I feel like someone's playing with my hair. Like genuinely, like
again,
I just
it's your head. It's just your head. Like all those things is just you being delusional. Like it's just your head. The brain has very, very strong pull.
Yeah.
Like it can do a lot of things. And just people just being delusional, it's really not that deep. Like let's be honest, ghosts don't really exist. Like, you know, if they do, like we'd see a lot more encounters of that stuff a lot more regularly, but we don't. So
Yeah.
but I'm not trying to find out either though. But like, yeah.
See, this is really comforting to have you like tell me these things, because I'm someone who gets really scared, so this is really useful. But like, do you know there's so many people like sharing stories online of like caught on camera and stuff? Do you think a lot of them are fabricated for views?
Absolutely fabricated.
Okay.
Most of the time you can't even see shit. The other time it's blurry, and the other time it's just bad CGI, that plus blurry, whatever. It's really bad. Like the fact that you have to go fabricating and there's not a single like figma of like what's it called, of something real, shows that it's really not that deep.
Yeah. No.
Especially in the day and age we live in, we would have caught something by now.
I suppose. And then on to some like, you know, more paranormal experiences. So ghost, not ghost, whatever it is, right? Someone shares the story, okay? And they said, my paranormal experience. A few years ago, my friends and I rented an Airbnb for a weekend. One of the rooms had a bunk bed where my friend and I chose to sleep in on the lower level. The first night, I wake up around 3:30 a.m. Now, I'm on the bottom bunk, and as my back is facing the door, I feel the bed move and my friend is getting out of bed. I hear feet go down the metal ladder steps, the bedroom door open, and the door to the bathroom close. I thought nothing of it until I continued to hear breathing come from the top bunk. I immediately become alert and think maybe this was all in my head as I just woke up. I get up and look to find my friend passed out, the door to our room wide open, which we closed before we went to sleep, and the bathroom door closed with no one inside. I'm a little freaked out, so I decide to go upstairs and watch some videos since I can't fall back asleep and I didn't want to be down there. All of my other friends are passed out, by the way. It's about 5:30 a.m. and I'm tired enough where I'll easily fall back asleep if I tried, so I went back downstairs and opened the door, which was not closed when I left. My friend was awake on the top bunk on his phone, and he jumps up and looks at me in confusion. He asked me how long I've been gone, and I said about 2 hours. His face whitens, and he told me that when he woke up about an hour ago, he heard the door close, someone walk to the beds and get in the bottom bunk, and he's been hearing breathing right up to the point where I opened the door. The whole time, he thought it was me and he didn't want to wake me, so he's just been on his phone the whole time. No one was in bed and I didn't tell him my side of the story yet either. Nothing happened the second night, but the day we leave, I decided to do a last-minute check and make sure no one was forgetting anything. I went to the bathroom on the lower level before we leave, and as I go to open the door, I hear someone whisper, "Did you wash your hands?" No one was down there when I opened the door, and all my friends were already outside waiting for me.
Once again, another situation of, if I saw that and I looked up and I saw my friend was asleep, I'd be like, get the fuck up. We're getting the fuck out of this house right now. Something absolutely astronomical just happened. We don't have time to explain. I'm either get out now or die. Bye-bye. Like, I don't play. Like,
Yeah.
what? That's so weird. Like, what? Like, how do you hear all those things and then be like, oh, it's okay. Let me just go downstairs and chill on my phone. On my ones.
At 3 a.m. On
my ones, after hearing all that, no, thank you, sir. How about I wake you the fuck up and then we both get out? Or I'm getting into that bed with you and I'm putting you at the edge so that if anything happens, you're the first one to go. Because God knows I'm not dying.
I think I'm very the same. Like if I get scared just in general of like anything, I'm cuddling up to someone. I'm like waking them up. I'm
what?
Like,
fuck cuddling. I just don't. I want to use them as bait.
yeah. Well, that too, I guess. I don't think I've had any like so because I'm someone really afraid of these things, I genuinely I'm like, it doesn't happen, it doesn't exist, and I try to justify it in a sciencey way because I'm like, if I don't acknowledge it, it doesn't exist in my head. So that's kind of how I deal with it. But like, it's not that I don't believe in it. It's like you can't tell me these things. Like you can't tell me, you know, you're talking to your ancestors or like, you know, these kind of things. I will get so scared and just like refuse. I just refuse. I just shut it out.
As you should. Yeah. Refuse it. Well, to be honest, it's not real anyway. As I said, all these stories are just made up. Y'all, it's figments of your imagination playing tricks on you.
So you've never had any paranormal experiences?
No. I'm a normal person.
How about when the door like shut on you while you were watching a scary movie?
No, that was my mother. That was my mother in the middle of the night. So, as I said, it doesn't work that way in real life, guys. It's not. It's your brain playing tricks on you. It's it's like kind of being a state of like semi-sleep or whatever, and hearing noises and whatever, and it's pretty vivid, and then otherwise it's just like you being the Lulu.
But then how about like things like magic and stuff? Do you believe in that?
No. I don't believe in magic.
Okay.
Actual magic? No, I don't believe in magic. I don't believe in magic or any of those things. I don't believe in any of those things, but I wouldn't also go out of my way to like disprove them.
But how about like black magic and stuff?
I actually don't believe it, but I just wouldn't fuck with it.
Okay.
Like as in like I don't think it exists, but I wouldn't go out of my way to play with it. You get me? To be like, oh yeah, screw you, dude. No, I'm just going to be like, I don't believe it, but still fuck away. Thank you very much. I'm a person like that. I don't believe in it, but I also wouldn't go out of my way to be like, prove it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like I'm not going to like take for example, I don't believe ghosts exist, but I wouldn't look into a mirror 3 times and say Bloody Mary, like for the fucks of it. Like I don't believe it exists, but at the same time, it's like, but why am I doing this?
Do you know what I read somewhere?
Which I actually like because I have done that before.
Have you actually?
Yeah, I've done it lots
of
times.
What happened?
Nothing.
Let me test.
Because I know it doesn't work.
Let me
but
test.
You get what my point is. Exactly.
Well, you just say you wouldn't do it, you did it.
Well, the point still is like, to a certain extent, like a lot of this shit is just bullshit. Like just fucking like, but like at the same time, you don't go out of your way to be like, yeah, come strike me down. It's like it kind of like things like it's like you don't believe in God, but you wouldn't be like, yeah, God strike me down. No, kind of thing.
Thank you.
Like you don't play with stuff. Like you. Because like if it happens and you just look like a damn fool, like, and it's not, and once again, it has nothing to do with that thing. It's just funny coincidence, So kind of
muck around and find out.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck around and find out.
But like I read somewhere that, and this is actually like apparently like scientifically proven that like the longer you spend looking in the mirror, the more distorted you start to see yourself.
Yes.
So like I think like people a lot of times like are starting to see like it's your brain, like you said, like kind of playing with you, which is kind of tells you how powerful our brains are.
Super powerful.
Like we tell it something and it's like you suddenly saw that.
That's why it's like a lot of those things are just you being deluded, like sleep deprived, tired, whatever it is. It's just like nonsensical stuff, like chemicals in your brain reacting a certain way to making things seem very real. Like it's the same way like how they do that thing where you look at a fake hand, but you don't, and like even though it's not your hand and they hit it, you feel the pain because your brain thinks it should feel the pain.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Your brain is a powerful tool, like, and it's very easy to be fucked with. And then once it's fucked with, then you can believe anything. Like.
Anything. But like sleep deprivation is a huge like thing massive. That impacts like, like if you've had bad sleep for like a few days in a row, your brain is like starting to play with you.
You're seeing things.
Yeah, you're seeing things. Yeah. And like I remember you were saying, I think at one point that you had.
Yes, I've had hallucinations due to sleep deprivation before.
Were you aware?
But no, I know, like I know, like it's like once again, it's because I knew because I was sleep deprived, I was hallucinating, like.
But that's so funny. You're like, haha, I know what's happening. Stop it.
Like it's like, haha, funny brain. Stop this right now. Like stuff like that. It happens. Like either from medicines, like they say like, oh, this could possibly cause hallucinations or whatever. Then you end up hallucinating and stuff like that, but some people are just like, oh my God. But like, you literally know, like it's something that you should know. Like, okay, maybe you don't know that sleep deprivation or tiredness can cause hallucinations or either like, let's say you're taking a medicine and you're taking whatever and it has a side effect of hallucinations, but you don't know. Yeah. And the stuff that happens, you might be a little bit freaked out, but at the same time, you should be able to be like, in your brain, you look at it, you're like, I'm probably hallucinating, to be honest.
So how do you know in the moment? Like how, like as in, what did you see?
Because we live in real life.
What did you see?
Because we live in real life. And I know figments of the imagination don't just exist. Like in real life, if it's not a human or an animal, it's not real. it's not real. That's kind of like how it works, guys. If it's not a human or animal, it's not real. It's probably in your head. So like
that's so that like the fact that it's kind of like how, I think like I heard like gamers and stuff are able to lucid dreams a lot of the times, right? And I remember when I was playing like crazy amounts of like video games, like that's all I could think about, and I was able to lucid dream, right? And I was like very aware that I was in a dream, and I was like starting to like do stuff around and control the dream, like whatever, and like I think hallucination would be the same thing, but your brain would have to be like a certain level of lucid for you to understand that you're hallucinating.
But how would you not know you're hallucinating?
Because remember one of your friends was hallucinating, and then he messaged me, and then he told you there's like a clown in his room.
Oh yeah, but he was super hallucinating.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, but once again, as I said, like, you have to be kind of like really like in a bad wares in that situation, like if you're okay and you're hallucinating, you're just like, oh, it's hallucination, like, but if you're like super sick and like, you're having a super high fever and you're hallucinating, that's a different story. Or if you're like schizophrenic and you're like hallucinating, then it's like, oh shit, you can't control it or stuff like that, or you're hearing voices, stuff like that. Obviously in those situations, it's hard to distinguish between reality and what's not. But I mean, like, if you're just casually chilling and you're hallucinating because of the side effects of something or from sleep deprivation, and it's not like you're sick or like schizophrenic, then it's very easy to distinguish. Be like, yo, this is hallucination.
Okay.
Like whatever. Like, it's like how I think people even say who take like hallucinogenic mushrooms, even though they're super like hallucinating and everything, they know they're aware they're hallucinating because they took drugs to end up being hallucinating.
I did something to cause this.
But it's still trippy to them, because they're like, oh shit, this is crazy, whatever. But at least, like, whereas if you go into hallucination completely unaware and because you're really sick or something, or as I said, schizophrenic, then it's like, yo, like, as far as it looks like to you, it's reality. And obviously it's a lot harder to break that, to be like, yo, no, this is not hallucination. I mean, this is hallucination and not reality, but like to each their own,
Yeah.
So I can't speak for everybody.
That's true.
I can only speak for myself. I'm very lucid about when I was hallucinating from this sleep deprivation.
Yeah.
So.
And then like with like dreaming and stuff, I saw this TikTok once that said that apparently if you looked into someone's eyes while you're in a dream, their eyes look really scary and like round. So like for days, like weeks, I was like, I need to remember to not look at anyone's eyes in my dreams. It was so
Delulu. Once again, Delulu is.
But no. So here's how I know I was delusional, or like that the whole theory isn't true, because I had a dream one time and I was looking into like this girl's eyes, and they were the most beautiful like brown eyes I've ever seen, and I was like directly looking into them. So I was like, okay, so they lied.
Yeah, like everything in life. It's all a big fat lie.
Lied to me.
Big fat lie.
And then to touch on like dreaming and stuff as well, like with like sleep paralysis and stuff, right? I've never experienced it, but I think I would personally die if it were to happen to me. But like, are you aware that it's happening?
I've never had sleep paralysis,
so from a scientific
point of view, like, it depends on the person, and it literally goes from person to person. Some people have sleep paralysis, but it's still so, because the thing is, you can't move your body, and that's what the real fear is, let alone whatever figment is happening. Because it's not about the thing or the hallucination. It's more about the fact that you can't move your body that really freaks you out.
Yeah. No, that's true. Because imagine not being able to move your body when you're fully awake. Yeah,
that's what freaks you out, and then it's like cause hyperventilation and stuff like that. It's not really about like what you see.
And then your brain's going like.
Duh. Yeah, exactly. It's going like, oh, shit. I can't breathe. Stuff like that. Like, that's what really fucks with you. But obviously, it's from person to person. Some people, I assume, may be very lucid. Some people might be like freaking out. Like, some people are in between. It all depends really from person to person. Because I've also heard that it's not every single person that sees anything when they're having sleep paralysis. It's just they can't move or whatever.
And that in itself is frightening anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's kind of scary.
So all that stuff, like, Sucks to
I
be you
wonder if
living that
like
life.
I wonder if that's also like triggered by something.
Yeah, it's when your brain wakes up too fast. Yeah, when your
Literally.
it wakes up before your body, motor functions begin. It's something like that. It's literally something. It's like your brain wakes up before your body, like is firing off neurons, to move, and so like that. Because of that, it's kind of like when it's something like that about like being like more in like a REM state or whatever, whereas you're still deep asleep and whatever. And there's something, look it up, guys, but it's very scientific. Like it's something happening before something, so you just that's why you can't move. And it takes like, even though it feels like ages, it's actually not that long. Like like if it's a long time, apparently you should probably go get that checked out, because it's like that's something like probably a problem in your skull, like, or whatever. So like
that is very interesting, because I never thought that it's like a cause and like I knew it was a cause and effect, but I didn't think it was like such an obvious your brain just woke up like essentially before your body did. And like these are good things to know, because like I've been really afraid of it, because it's like demons, like demon shit. Like that's what scares me. Not
even everybody who has sleep paralysis sees stuff. It's literally just the fear of like being claustrophobic because you can't move. Like that's what freaks people out.
Okay, as you can imagine. And then keeping on to the theme of dreams, since we've talked a lot about dreams, I have a story that...
By the way, guys, I have never lucid dreamed once in my life.
You never had a lucid dream?
Never, which is really annoying, because I feel like I'd be OP.
I thought you did.
Never in my life. I've never
had a lucid dream.
And
you're a gamer.
Never had a lucid dream in my life. And I feel very robbed, because I'd love to have one, but I've never had one in my life. Like, I literally have friends who'd be like, oh yeah, I've freaking lucid dreams like so many times. I know how to do it on command. I'm like, I fucking wish. I've never had one in my life. So I think it's because I'm not able to sleep properly. So
I think
that's
so.
a big. I don't think I can ever end up in a deep enough or whatever enough state to lucid dream. But yeah, it is what it is.
No, I did a few times. This is when I was on my peak video game player times, and I remember one time it was kind of like I was in like a Super Mario game with like a field, and I was like, oh my god, this is so much fun. And I was like jumping on different things, and you're just very aware that you're in a dream. You're like, like this is gonna be so fun when I wake up. It's kind of weird.
It must be nice.
But it's a cool experience, because it's not a scary one. It's just like
you can literally do whatever you want.
Yeah, basically. Okay, like I said, on to continuing with the theme of dreams. Someone said, does anyone else have dreams that become reality? I've had several dreams that have become reality. Here are a handful of examples. I once had a dream that at the time my boyfriend's ex-girlfriend wanted to get back together with him. The next day I was telling him about this dream, and he looked surprised and then pulled out a letter he had received in the mail. It was from his ex telling him she wanted to be with him again. Another example, I had a dream that my now husband proposed to me. We had never talked about marriage, but the next week he had proposed. Another example, I had a dream that predicted both our children's genders. And finally, I had a dream about 3 to 4 weeks before two family members announced their pregnancies that they were pregnant with the correct gender. I'm wondering how common this is.
You're not clairvoyant. It's just your subconscious. This is just an episode of me. Debunking all these things. It's actually just your subconscious. Your subconscious picks up on things that you might not have picked up on. Mm-hmm. Then it shows it to you in a dream, and then you're like, it happens. Wow, I can see the future. But in reality, it's probably like something like, even take for example, it could be a simple thing of like, let's say something crazy, like this is crazy, but whatever, like take the husband situation of like proposing, like, whatever, when he wanted to propose, he might have actually came home like with the ring box or whatever hidden, or it could have been well hidden, but you saw it in the corner of your eye, but you never took notice, but your brain took notice. Or even if it was like, maybe he mentioned it and you heard it off, but you never picked up. It's like your brain taking notice of something that you never taken notice. So you then dream of that thing because your brain took notice of it, and then eventually it happens. It's kind of like how people think their phones are listening to them.
I was about to say that example too.
Yeah, people think their phones are listening to them, but in reality, it's not. Like, if anyone let's say you talk to anyone in your circle about something, let's say like a iPad or whatever, right? And then they go, anyone in your circle, whether in your contacts, your friends, whatever, like that they know is linked to you, searches for an iPad, they know more than likely you probably have either talked to them or want one or whatever, or maybe something that they want to present, whatever. But, and let's say they do whatever, you can then get an ad for that iPad, because, not because of something you did, but because of something they did, and you're like, oh my god, my phone's listening to me. It's not. It's just a reality. And that's the same thing with like dreams and like all these things and feeling like deja vu or whatever. It's kind of like your subconscious picking up on something that you didn't take in, and the deja vu has nothing to do with that. Deja vu is actually just a memory being stored in your, I think it's like in your short-term or long-term, I can't remember which way it is, in your long-term memory instead of your short-term memory. So you feel like, wow, I've had this memory all the time, but in reality it's just like it was stored in the wrong folder initially. So like, all these things is just your brain acting up. Like a lot of these things is just literally your brain doing supercomputer, and you don't realize that you're doing a supercomputer.
I was about to say, on the husband proposing situation with the like phones, like he could have seen a TikTok that he liked of a ring and liked it, and because your friend, like he was interacting with a TikTok and you're like a friend of theirs, you might have seen it like by passing, and then your brain just kind of like picked up on it. And
you're
that's
like, oh, I'd love to get married.
Yeah, and that's just so common, especially in the age of internet. People are like thinking like it's some, whatever. But like even I heard that it's true, even if like friends come to your home, they connect to your Wi-Fi, they immediately start getting ads of things that you have been searching up in your home.
Exactly.
And stuff like that, which can seem scary, but it kind of is scary how much like information gets like quickly transmitted,
interconnected, isn't it?
It's kind of how we are. But I don't like, on the whole dream thing, I am someone who has always dreamed and things have happened
subconscious
in that way. I don't know, sometimes it's just so oddly specific. But like the only issue with these instances is that I can't predict the future and I can't do anything with this information. Like basically I could be like, oh my god, I had this exact dream before and it just happened, but that's it. I'm only remembering now that it already happened.
If any of you guys think you're clairvoyant, put in something in the comment to be like something that I wouldn't know, that I wouldn't even think of subconsciously that's going to happen. And then say it. Clairvoyance, come on. I challenge you. Go put the clairvoyance-ness there. Prove it. It's just your subconscious. It's just your subconscious.
Do you think it always is?
Yes, absolutely. It's
I don't know, because there are times when it's kind of scary, man.
No. Because it's like, oh my god, I had a dream of a baby girl. Oh, my daughter was born. Oh, I can see. It was a 50-50 chance. And it just happened to be the right one. If it was a baby boy and ended up being a girl, then you'd be like, oh, the future was changed. No. You're just like, oh, it was just a dream.
Yeah.
But because it happened to be the right call, you're like, oh, future. No.
But like, because the thing is, like, I wouldn't remember that I had a specific dream, but I remember in the moment that I had dreamed about it.
Guys, your brain is a powerful tool.
I was about to say, is my brain just malfunctioning? Have a little like circuit break, like where it's like, oh.
Your brain is a powerful tool. Very powerful.
And you know what another thing is? But this is just kind of me being kind of dumb. But like sometimes I can't really distinguish if a memory was real or not, if it was a dream or. Well,
no, that's fair.
Life.
Like that's just like, once again, your brain not putting stuff in like correctly. Where everything is something, a memory might be foggy because it wasn't stored properly, and then you're like, oh, I don't know if this was, because dreams are usually foggy, so you just assume like, oh wait, whatever. But yeah, it's just your brain messing up or doing something really well, guys. It's just everything comes down to your brain doing something.
This is actually the most comforting podcast we've ever done, and it's meant to be like a spooky, scary one. But like Frick is just like debunking things, which is kind of nice.
Look it all up, guys. Science.
I know that, because the thing is, there is scientific evidence behind pretty much everything that we experience as people, but I think people still like this idea of being kind of psychic.
No, me personally, I don't like it. No. Science.
People, don't come to me with that shit. Like,
science.
Actually, I am kind of personally a little bit afraid of like black magic and stuff. Like, I want to play around with it now that I 100% believe it, but like I'm just a little bit scared of it. I remember there was like, in Romania they do a lot of palm readings, right? So they look at your palm. Yeah, see, I wouldn't play around with that either. I don't want anyone to tell me my future. I don't want nothing.
Grab your hands away from me.
Yeah,
dirty ass.
See, that's a little bit interesting because a lot of them end up being kind of specific and, kind of, you get a chance to debunk it in a bit, right? But I remember someone was like,
it's a scam.
Running after my aunt and like looked in her eyes and like, let me read your palm. And I was like, don't touch me.
Slap.
Don't touch me.
Don't touch me.
Get away from me.
Dirty hands. I don't know where you've been.
So she literally ran away from her, which is something that I would do. But like, how come some of these predictions are so spot on?
They're not spot on. They just keep it's just scammery brain manipulation where they just kind of like tiptoe around things very like obtusely kind of thing, and then when they see a little glimmer of like, you're like, it's like you have someone in your life, maybe a myth, and then they don't see a reaction, female, and they're like, oh! Boom, they're fucking with you. And you feel like a dummy, like an idiot. It's not real. They're just literally reading you and your body language, like literally. And they're doing stuff obtuse, and then they go specific when they see a reaction. It's not like, guys, please, for the love of God, stop falling for this shit. You're wasting money for what?
Or like the coffee, like the coffee thing, the ground.
Guys, please stop.
I remember there was one that my friends bullied me into doing it, and I took a picture and you upload it and someone tells you, and I was like, okay, that's a scam.
Guys, it's like, there's this guy on there is a guy at TikTok, he's still there. He's like, oh, all witches and warlocks and all these things of TikTok, you guys said you can bewitch and curse me. Go on in. And he's like, do your tarot cards, do everything, curse me. He's still alive. Not a single curse. Everything's actually gone up for him. So, yeah. And then they're like, oh, you didn't get shit. You didn't get shit.
But would you argue that because you're not a believer, you're not letting that energy into your life? But if you would.
Okay, let's us assume that bullshit. Let's assume that bullshit. Would you not be better to then just take that mindset so you're immune to all that bullshit? It's a win-win either way. Like, that's how I'm hearing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But that's not fun.
Oh, because getting hexed and dying or cursed is fun.
Yeah. Do you know what? Another reason, I guess, for like my very little belief in this is because like there's so many nasty people that are on top of the world, like leaders and stuff, and they continue to lead. They continue to do really disgusting things.
Because they play life, not bullshit games.
That's the thing. That's where they want you to be.
They work hard. They don't just be like,
I mean, there's hard workers and then there's like the nasty ones. Okay. Yeah. On to the final bit, which is not as magic or like scary, spooky, whatever. It's more about like UFOs and aliens and that kind of thing. So I actually read this thread of a guy who has worked in Area 51 or whatever.
Oh.
Yeah, and
it's not real.
He said that there's just like a lot of army in there and stuff, and it actually isn't that all that whatever. But he did say that one time there was like a strange aircraft that he saw that he's never seen anything like it, and he suspects it was just a craft that they were testing.
Yeah. Area 51 is just a normal army base. There is no, oh my God, they're secretly. Let's be honest. If an alien can go from whatever planet light years away to Earth, do you really think we're catching it? Let me ask you that. Do you really think we are catching it? Something that can zigzag, do? Do. I don't. You think us little humans with our weapons are essentially pebbles.
Yeah.
Smaller than pebbles to them. I don't think we need to worry. Like, our government is not holding aliens secretly somewhere. Like, okay, if you want to believe that aliens are secretly watching us, okay, that's a little bit more like, okay, we like, because even if we wanted to catch them, we probably couldn't.
Yeah, it's entirely possible.
Like, we couldn't. So, okay, but we're definitely not holding them. Like, I don't think it's like one of those things of like, oh my God, it crash landed and they picked it up and things in tighter situations leak than that. Let's be honest. It's really hard to keep those things tight shut. Like, like only one person must know about it. Like,
Yeah.
like, and then how are you meant to move it? Anyway, moral story is That's probably not the case. Let me not lie. Like aliens, who knows? It's
But how about like instances where people are like noticing like UFOs?
Oh my god, no. As I said, like there is no way. Like aliens aren't just casually popping in and popping up like deuces. Like they're not fucking with us like that.
Really?
You
Do
know,
you
like
reckon?
no, like they like once again, if they exist, they just don't give a fuck about us. If they exist, they don't or they don't know about us. Or maybe like they just have no interest or whatever. If they do, like, you know, it's just like it's entirely possible. Like the universe is freaking massive.
Yeah.
But like you have to be so technologically advanced. Like we've ran the numbers. It requires a serious like level of technology to get like even inter like what's it called, what's the name of our thing, not the universe, our galaxy.
Galactic.
Even intergalactic travel requires, even from one planet to another,
Yeah.
you know, it requires a lot.
I remember I watched a Kirk is
Yeah, Kirk is act, whatever
video, and I was a bit disheartened at how far away we are from that kind of technology that would allow us to
Like-
do any sort of traveling,
No.
like, or whatever. And there he was like kind of saying that it is entirely possible that there's civilization in other worlds who have, but we would never know. Not
Yeah.
in our lifetime. And
No.
I'm like, oh, that's kind of disheartening. I thought we were a lot closer to,
No.
because we're like, oh, we've advanced so much. And then he was saying like, yes, we have, and we'll continue to advance faster, but we're so far away from that. Like it'll take generations and generations.
We're like 2%, bro, guys.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, crazy. It's crazy. Like
Yeah.
we would need to harness the power of our sun, like, and shit like that. Like,
Yeah.
guys, this is hundreds of millions of years away. Like we're not doing this anytime soon.
And by then it's entirely possible that our universe would explode anyway. So like,
And usually the saying goes, any civilization that's smart enough to get to space travel has probably killed itself out before that.
yeah.
You know, so like, but obviously, like that's from a human perspective. But like, you know, don't get your hopes and dreams up anytime soon, you crazy lunatics.
Yeah. But I do think that like 100%, I do think that there is some sort of life, whatever.
Well, maybe germs, like, or other
but that's
bacteria.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think it's more.
It's been proven. Bacteria exist in other planets.
But
yeah.
I think like even if there's like things, I think it's just like slimy worms.
No, sure,
like,
little like even little organisms.
But I like obviously that's stuff that we could confirm. But I mean, I think there is more. Like, and I think it's entirely possible that there's multiple Earths out there.
Well, there is Earth-like planets.
Yeah,
out
exactly. And I think it's entirely possible that there's just a lot of different things.
Well, the
out
percentage
there.
chance of having Earth is very, very low. As in, like, the situations to have
Like in
animals
the
and so on
exact
and
same
so
as
forth.
us.
Yeah, like it's like, well, not even exact, like animals, living creatures.
Yeah.
Like, not, and I mean, when I say living creature, I mean big living creatures, not just organisms like little bacteria and stuff like that. We're talking like the percentage chance is very. We were very, 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 very statistic. If you believe in science and not religion, as I'm saying right now, obviously, like the statistic chance is ridiculously low. So you can have like a billion Earths, and the statistic chance would not even be there for there to be another Earth like thing, whatever. So
okay, I think, you know what? I think this is an entirely good episode for like an existential crisis type episode. So I will keep my questions for another one. But hope you guys enjoyed our Halloween take, the
Indeed.
scary stuff, paranormal stuff, whatever. Share with us some stuff and maybe if we can debunk them, just to help you sleep better at night.
you know, I got you.
So don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and all
The
the
whole
good stuff.
shebang.
Till next time.
Boys.